The next day, on my way to sports festival, I had lost my phone. Hey, it was very bad, very bad at home. I was in trouble and all of that. Hey, somehow it was like karma for like doing something that I wasn't supposed to do. I had just gotten the phone like a few weeks later, it was gone. I was so sad. Fortunately, I got another one. You know, yeah. But then um during the time when I started the drugs, there was a very big club scene going around in the city. um there was a lot of house parties happening, people hosting. We actually had one party that we hosted at a friend's house, and it was mad lit. Hey, that was one of the craziest parties I've been to, honestly, because it was hosted in Moreleta, I think. Yeah, man, it was lit. The party was shut down in like 3 hours. Yeah, the craziest party. But then, yeah, that's a story for another day. Back to the topic. Doing drugs in high school. Yeah, I was like one of those kids, man, who like did something. When I did something, I like really, really, really wanted to take it over the notch. Like take it to the next level, take it to the next level, take it to the next level. I had this friend who said that when we do something, we actually like doing it to the best experience ever. If we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out the whole night. If we're gonna drink, we're gonna drink the most alcohol we could. So we started with the cat, yeah. So we did our cat lines. For some reason, I don't know why we actually liked it. Staying up all night. Like, if you tell me today that staying up all night was actually really cool, I didn't really like understand what you mean. I think you're crazy. But yeah, when we were younger, we thought that was really great, man. Amazing. We thought we could do everything. Like, we felt invincible. Invincibility. You know. Yeah, especially as a young person, we felt so invincible. We were drinking all night. People were actually surprised how we drink so much but still not get drunk. But we knew we used to call it the secret. you know just a few of us knew. A few bullets here and there. We used to call it bullets, where you just scoop up in the straw and bah, quick. you know yeah. Started out doing it in private, like behind closed doors, in secret, not really wanting to be associated with people who do it, and ended up, like doing it like on a regular basis now. When you do something on a regular basis, you can't really control it that much, because it somehow gets out of control. um Especially when it's drugs, like first things first, like you think you're in charge or you're in control of it, but actually it's actually in control of you and your life. um yeah. So we used to go to Celia Street. Yeah, man, we were the biggest customers in Celia Street. I tell you not, I kid you not, man. Everyone knew me for that, and like it was at the time, it seemed cool. Growing up, I come to realize that it was a very bad choice and decision. We'd go there, score the biggest bag with the purest, and like we'd always hype it up. Everyone would talk about theirs. We'd tell them that's actually boring. We have the best thing that you can get in town. Short story. Yeah, I can't disclose my dealer's name, unfortunately, but if you guys know, by Celia Street, down Celia Street, just before the bridge, you know where it's at. Yeah, just not to incriminate anyone in this video. So yeah, we'd score bags there. Like, I remember I was so hooked that I'd have to sneak out at night, just to go buy, and thinking that a bag was 150 each at the time, and like I'm a high school student now. It's not like I'm earning any money. So like I was taking all my allowance. Like, I'd get my weekly allowance up front, and I'd blow it all in like 2 days just for that, because I'd be spending in the morning. I'd call in during school, like sometimes for a delivery. I'd call after school, maybe, if not during the school time. And like I'd make sure every time I go home, I had a section. We used to call it a section, whereby you get something off the bag, like, you know and it was bad because we actually like had so many people hooked on this, just so we could maintain our habits. I'm really sorry for that, to everyone who had to suffer that. I hope they're all good, those who could make it out. But then, yeah, that's what happened when we started. Every day was like every weekend, man. I was in the club like every weekend, from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I remember, like, in Hatfield, there was securities And like those securities knew me so well that when I come through with my high school friends, they'd actually like let us go slide in, like just slide in through, while they're demanding ID from actually people who look old enough to be inside. We just slide in because of the connection we already had from going there all the time. We'd go there in school uniform, go there during the week. It was just a mess, like every day, all the time. I was really like just lost, all over the place. Yeah, like substances had taken over my life. I remember I was like 17, like when it actually got really serious. By the time I was 18, I couldn't even control it at all. We were stealing just to make sure that we support the habit. I remember there's this time when we were coming from Square. I was with some guys, there was this crew that hung around at a park in Sunnyside where all this activity was going on, the drug activity and so forth. A lot of youth was involved in there, and which was really bad. um, this guy snatched the phone of this drunk guy on our way from Hatfield. We were not even involved, but the way that happened so fast, we had to run because we were walking with the same people. And I didn't see the danger in that. It was so exhilarating. I remember that time we were running. We ran. We heard a van and we couldn't stop running. Like we were just running. It was so mad. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, I remember all of this. And like, funny enough, throughout my whole time doing these drugs as a high scholar, we've never been busted. Like, I never had gotten caught. And any time I'd like to do it in front of people. I remember like I was bunking classes just to sit down and do the drugs, and I'd actually show off as if it was something really cool, like showing off to everyone that I'm doing it. I remember I had this iPad and I had the iPhone, and I was using the iPhone to actually like sort the things, like make it into lines and all of that, and acting like I'm really cool. This is like way back 2013, 2014 times. It was really tough for me. I had to quit soccer. There was some time when I actually stopped playing soccer at all, like from coming from playing for the first team, like to stopping at all. Like I was just focused on that, and that's all that made me happy, man. I was not interested in my schoolwork. All I was thinking about is the drugs, and like, yeah, it was very toxic for me because like I was having toxic relationships with people, yeah. We were very well known for the parties and all of that, and bringing whatever you needed. I was your guy. I remember I'd bring like mushrooms, marijuana, anything you named I could get from somebody. I always knew somebody who knew somebody or somebody like that. And that's how everything escalated. And yeah, to a point where it was really bad at my with my schoolwork. There was this day where I actually was in school and I was supposed to be writing that day, and I had to score a bag for some kid who wanted to get like this very big section of drugs, like making like 1,000 rand profit from that. And like with that, like I don't know, somehow that like brought their attention on me from the school. And like all of a sudden I had petitions, I had all of these things. I remember when the principal called me to the office once and asked me like, um how when did you come to the school? And I've been since I've been there for like 3 years. Like I was just below the radar. Nobody really knew me when I got there, but then like from the time I was taking the drugs, I was just wilding out. I had no control, no respect for anyone, no respect for myself whatsoever. Yeah, I remember that time, man. It was very difficult. Yeah, all we knew was party, party, party. We'd be looking for the next party, you know. And like, with drugs comes very serious consequences. Fortunately for me, I wasn't arrested, but I was like a victim of running away from home. Every time I'd mess up from home, like I had to run away. The first time I ran away was actually leading to the time when I was going to get kicked out of school. We'd pull like 2 weeks, no sleeping, and like when you go to school and you've been up for like 2 weeks, everyone can see that you lose weight, your pants are sagging. I was one of those, like parents were complaining about us in the primary schools, saying that we're a bad influence and so forth. I remember I got kicked out for just being a bad influence, the school's reputation. I had no respect for the school or myself whatsoever. Yeah, it was very tough, yeah. And like with doing drugs, yeah, you get exposed to a lot of things, man. A lot of things. I remember I was given ecstasy by some people to sell, and I didn't sell the ecstasy. And I just like, oh, I ran away from home just to hide for a while, until that situation died out. And like I got back home, I was in trouble for running away from home. It's like story after story. I lost my items. I think I lost like 50,000 rand, 50,000 to 70,000 rand worth of phones that my parents was buying for me. My mother was buying for me, and I just kept on selling or losing or whatever that happened at the time. And yeah, like it just kept on spiraling and spiraling out of control, slowly but surely. Yeah, to a point where I was even feeling like I can't do this anymore. I got kicked out of my first school for that, and then I got kicked out of my second school for that also, because I wasn't a bad student with like bad, like failing to be kicked out, but I kept on missing school. Like it was more of a habit, like because of the drugs, like having to run away and so forth, and here and there. So like from there, like everything started spiraling out of control. I dropped out of school. I remember there was a time where I just kept on dropping out of school, going back, dropping out, going back, dropping out. It was all so complicated. It was complicated, very much so. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I wouldn't like really advise anyone to try it, because as a teenager, you're supposed to be still growing, mentally maturing, learning what the world has to offer. Now find yourself like in the spiral of drugs, and you can't really control anything. You have no good relations with anybody. You are always out with the bad guys. The people I was hanging around with were really bad. Like some were thieves, some were, everyone had something they had to do. Some were scamming people. It was really tough, as a young person. And I was more of an introvert, but then I liked getting attention for some reason. So I guess that's what actually got me hooked into this. And like, yeah, I remember there was some time I was writing an exam. I was so deep in it. My feet were swollen because I haven't slept for so long. I haven't rested. My feet were swollen. I was shivering. I couldn't even hold the pencil. I was I was literally taking the drugs while I was writing, just so that I could finish writing. And my body was aching and so forth. And everything was just so painful, you know. Yeah, it's like, yeah. I couldn't even sit down like for like more than 30 minutes, and I have to write this exam. Fortunately, I passed that year. But then, yeah, like I was dropping in and out of school. Yeah.